Ladies and gentlemen, we are back on the Game Time Decision podcast. We got a full 3 guys today. That's quite a nice change, isn't it, Joe? Welcome back.
Oh, I'm so happy to be back. Hectic past few weeks.
It's been, I think, 3 weeks since I put a show up. We did talk last week, but I decided to trash it. It wasn't very long. It was kind of disorganized, but we're all here together, so that's great. Yeah, Pat, what's going on?
Yeah, good to be back. First time we've had nice weather outside, like, all week.
That's true.
Aside from yesterday.
Pretty nice day.
It's still cloudy and 45, but we'll take.
It's better than the rain and the snow.
That's true.
Yesterday was nice.
Tuesday is going to be like 75.
I was kind of looking forward to Wednesday. It was going to be 60 going to the Sox game, but I just looked. It's raining now, so gotta hope it holds off.
All right, so we're going to talk some sports.
Let's go.
Yep.
All right, so let's start off with the Red Sox because they just started their season. Not looking too bad, I don't think. A few things here and there, but it's nice to see guys like Pablo Sandoval hitting dingers already.
Yeah, I don't know. I have moderate expectations for the Boston Red Sox this year.
Moderate.
I am not fully sold on the team. First of all, I do not think their offense will be nearly as good as it was last year. Mookie Betts, I know everyone says, Mookie's the best. Mookie's Mike Trout. No, he's not. Mookie Betts is a 2020 guy who can bat between 290 and 310, which is a very, very solid player.
Well, Joe, speaking of selling, how do you think Chris Sale performed?
Oh, I'm sold on him.
Yep.
You are sold on him.
He's the real deal. He is no David Price.
Okay.
But
Bad price for David Price.
yeah. But let me get back to my negativity, because that's what I do best. Speaking negatively, Mookie Betts is not going to have the season he did last year. And I think, here, mark my words, Mookie Betts' 2016 season will be the best season of his career. He'll be good. He'll be good. I do not think he will have another 30 home run season in his career. And
Wasn't he the MVP runner-up?
he was the runner-up for the league MVP.
Yeah.
Kind of, I'm not going to say as drastic as Jacoby Ellsbury's 2011 season, where he had that 1 year where he had,
The year he took steroids?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The year he hit 32 home runs, batted 321, 105 RBIs, 39 steals, and looked like he was like Mickey Mantle. Like I don't think it's going to be that drastic. I don't think that Mookie Betts is going to have that much of a drop off. I think he'll just be a 20 home run guy, 20 steals, 300 average, which is a very good player, which is still a top 10 player, top 15 player in the MLB. I just don't think that you're going to get. I don't think he's Mike Trout. And last season he played like he was Mike Trout. So that's my first concern.
Yeah.
Second concern, there's no David Ortiz. Third concern, Jackie Bradley Jr. is not going to bat 270 or 267 with 26 home runs and 86 RBIs.
Or get a hit streak, for that matter.
Or get a 29-game hit streak.
I think he'll be solid. I don't think he'll be gaudy
I think he'll
numbers.
be 220. I think he'll be 10 home runs, 15 home runs.
He's so inconsistent.
Yeah, he's a 210, 220 hitter. I think he's going to be a major offensive liability.
He'll have good months,
He's
he'll
still
have bad months.
still batting down in the order. So
Sandy Leon will also come back.
Sandy Leon has been on fire since
He's
last
looked
August.
good, and I have to retract all the things I've said about him because I just have not been a fan of him or Vasquez. I thought the Red Sox needed to really reevaluate their catchers, but Sandy Leon, not bad.
I think that he'll come back down to earth, though. I think Vasquez should be our everyday catcher.
Yep.
And will be. And we have Blake Swihart coming back. You can't forget about him. So
What's he gonna do now? Like pitch?
he could play. Our field is already stacked. But so that's my main concern for the batting order. No Ortiz. Betts is going to come back down to earth. Bradley's going to come back down to earth. Sandy Leon's going to come back down to earth. And Hanley Ramirez is going to go back to being a putz because he's not going to hit 30 home runs with 110 RBIs.
He won't hit 30, but he'll get 20.
He hit 9. Okay, even if he hits 20, it has to be the 20 that you look at. Because look at his first year with the Red Sox. It was a disaster. Everyone can agree with that. His 2015 season, he still hit 19 home runs. He hit 10 home runs in this first month. So I think you're not going to see consistency out of him. I think you're going to see him dogging it, and I'm just scared for him. I'm scared about him. So that's my concerns with the lineup. Pitching-wise, David Price will not make more than 1 or 2 starts with the Red Sox this year. I think that he will not even pitch at all. Same with Tyler Thornburg, the guy that we traded Travis Shaw and Mauricio Dubon for. It'll be the Carson Smith. He's probably going to get surgery too. And Carson Smith probably won't pitch at all. So those are 3 guys that's gonna hurt your pitching staff. And I have major concerns for the bullpen, as evidenced yesterday when Pablo Sandoval, of all people, hits a 3-run home run to take the lead, and the bullpen gives it right back.
Of all people. Yeah, that was a upsetting loss to Detroit yesterday. And do we know when the makeup game is for the Pirates?
I think it's next Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
Okay.
But and another thing, when it comes to the lineup, is Dustin Pedroia. I'm not saying that he's going to be bad, but I'm just saying he's probably not going to play 150 as he gets to the age 34. He's not going to play 155 games and hit 15 home runs and bat 318 again.
But he'll hold up.
I don't know. I mean, if he'll probably hit 285, 290, play 130 games and play good defense. But he's not going to have the best season he's had in 5 years like he did last year.
Right.
So last year was an anomaly, and you had a 40-year-old David Ortiz having his best season in years. Mookie Betts emerging. So the only good sign is that we have Benintendi for a whole year.
What is your take on my guy, Benintendi?
Oh, I love Benintendi.
Love him.
I think when we look back in 20 years, Benintendi will have a better career than Mookie Betts.
I'm not doubting that, but I don't think Mookie's going to have as drastic as a drop-off as you're saying he is.
I'm saying a 2020 300 guy is not bad. I'm just saying he's not going to be a 30 home run guy with 30. I mean, he might get 30 steals.
I give him consistently 25 home runs.
No, I don't see that. Because if you look at last year, he had a 3 home run game against Baltimore. He had a multi-home run game against, I think it might have been a 3 home run game, but I think it was 2 home run game against the Diamondbacks. So he's had a lot of his home runs have came in bunches, and especially in Baltimore. So I think
was there.
You were in Camden Yards that
Yeah.
game? The 3 home run, that was sick. But you see those games, and I don't know. I think he's a great player, but I don't think he's going to be Mike Trout.
I think he's still the best right fielder in baseball.
I'd take Bryce Harper over.
Oh, I forgot about Bryce Harper.
My boys in Cleveland have picked up to a nice fiery start this year. The pitching has been very good.
Well, Kluber wasn't very good.
I know, but he's only one head of three big names out there.
I like Bauer, too.
Carrasco pitched phenomenally, and Francisco Lindor has looked nice.
He's good. He's really good.
Yep.
I'm a fan of his. So, yeah, when it comes to the Red Sox, they should still win the division. There's plenty to be optimistic about, but hold your horses because the team might not be as great as you think, and our farm system's depleted. And you know who I think the Red Sox could really use right now? And you're going to say, oh, no, he sucks. Oh, no. Clay Buchholz.
I didn't like trading him.
I've
always been a Buchholz guy.
I mean, you came after him being with the team for 10 years. You came to know what you're going to expect from him. You know he's not going to be consistent. You know he's not going to be reliable for all 30 starts. But you know that for a stretch of 10 to 15 starts, Clay Buchholz will give you a solid pitcher.
He was huge down the stretch last year.
He was.
Last month of the season.
Exactly. So that's one thing that gets me worried because now Price has gone down, Pomeranz has gone down.
Drew Pomeranz.
The
Don't
worst
even get me
trade.
started.
Okay, Chris. Who hated the Drew Pomeranz trade from the second he heard it?
You did.
And you said, no, it was a good trade. Give him time. Dave. Oh,
I didn't.
I hated it after his first start.
Oh, rant. Dave Dombrowski is the worst executive in all of professional sports.
No.
The worst. I hate him. He should be fired today. He's not made one good move. Not one good move.
No.
He has not made one good move. He has done
Chris Sale?
Chris Sale, he's walked into the best situation ever. He walked into a team that has as a baseball general manager, as the only sport with no salary cap whatsoever, you walk into a team that is top 3 in terms of payroll and had the best farm system. So, of course, anyone could say, throw the number 1 prospect in baseball, the number 12 prospect in baseball, and 2 other really good prospects to get a stud pitcher. Sure, throw $217 million at the wimp David Price. What a wimp.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, people don't notice the stuff you're saying. People notice, like, oh, look, we got Chris Sale. People don't notice, like,
anyone could have made that move, though. Anyone could say,
like, fans out here. Yeah, but the fans in Boston, like, don't realize, like, other teams have to, like, worry about cap, and they have to, like, make, like, they really care about their farm system because, like, out in Boston, like, we can just buy better players.
The thing with Price, too, like, he was awful. Like, first 2 months of the season, I couldn't defend him. Then after the All-Star break, he was pretty solid.
But here's the thing.
He kind of came back.
Here's the thing. Even if David Price had season like he did in 2015 with the Tigers and Blue Jays, even if he had won 20 games and had an ERA under 3, I still wouldn't quantify that as a great move because it's a move literally any GM in his situation could have done.
True.
Anyone can just throw the most money at the best free agent pitcher. That's not a move that takes creativity. Like, when you look at moves like Ben Sherrington, as much as people want to rag on him, he wasn't bad. And I even kind of ragged on him because he was a little too cautious. But I think Theo Epstein's the best. Theo Epstein's the best general manager in baseball. We should have never let him go. But he was the best mix of saying, we're going to keep our solid farm guys and develop, and we're also going to trade guys to make us better. But you look at what Sherrington did. Like, Mike Napoli, bringing him in for 1 year, $5 million in incentives. Bringing in Shane Victorino. Bringing in, like, guys like that. Koji. Johnny Gomes. Koji. Guys like that. And you think, like, oh, they're just veteran guys. They're not going to make a move. Do we win a World Series with any of those guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
We know the narrative. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't think we were going to, but we did.
But we did, exactly. And, like, those are moves that, like, go under the radar. But see, that's what makes a good GM.
Johnny Gomes.
But, like, seeing guys like, all right, I'm going to put Mike Napoli and Shane Victorino together. And that's having foresight. That's not saying, all right, David Price, Cy Young winner, proven, give him $217 million.
Well,
Chris
unproven
Sale,
in the playoffs.
I know, but still, like, he's still a really good pitcher. Oh, Chris Sale, great pitcher. All right, give them everything they want in terms of prospects. So, and then you look at the Drew Pomeranz trade, terrible. He's made the Tyler Thornburg trade, terrible. I'm not gonna, because they gave up Mauricio Dubon, not so much Travis Shaw, because Travis Shaw, I think.
Did we trade for that guy Mitch Moreland?
No, we signed him.
Signed
that was a fine signing.
Good
1 year,
defense.
$5 million.
He's a first baseman.
Yeah.
I haven't really
Gold
seen
Glove.
I haven't really seen him do much behind the while hitting, but
He had two today.
He had two hits today.
Yeah. So
But
I think it's his only 2 hits this year.
He smoked the ball. I remember it was Chris Sale's start. He smoked it, but it was
July. That would have been a home run in the first row behind the bullpen. That was smoked.
And there was another one to center field that was smoked too.
Probably would have hit the wall, I think.
Yeah, but 40 degrees, nighttime Fenway, wind blowing in. So, but Moreland isn't really a key cog to the team. I just think he's a solid player. But Dombrowski, I can't really look at any move and say that was a really nice move.
I mean,
not even the Moreland signing. You just like, eh.
I mean,
I think it's very solid. I don't think it's amazing or bad.
Yeah,
but
like the Drew Pomeranz. If you look at the major moves he's made,
like I understand what you're saying about Dombrowski. Like, I know you guys don't like him, but I think you kind of.
I'm fine with him.
Or at least Joe. I think that you expect too much from the general manager.
I'm not expecting too much. He blew up the farm system. He wasted our money, and we're screwed.
But you're looking for this magical deal that's going to just turn our team into the 2013 team again, where we're just going to get all these guys and win a World Series.
Oh no, the 2013 was an anomaly. It was not that.
It
wasn't supposed to happen.
The team rallied around the city.
The only moves
marathon
you really can
bombing.
hope for right now is just slowly build back up a farm system, try to stabilize the team we have.
But why trade
and hope that Price and guys like that to stay healthy?
But here's the way I look at it. And the angle that I approach things. So you look at the Drew Pomeranz trade. We traded Anderson Espinoza for Drew Pomeranz. I never thought Drew Pomeranz was good. I hated the trade from the beginning. We don't know if Anderson Espinoza is going to be good. But here's the thing. Now we go to the Chris Sale trade. If you keep Anderson Espinoza, maybe we could have used him instead of Michael Kopech, who I think is going to be a stud. Well, Moncada was a must trade. I think it would have been between Kopech and Espinoza because they're both pitchers and they're both highly ranked. So I'm not saying you can't trade all of them, but why waste some more of your ammo when you could still have Kopech and Sale? But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hold on to one of them.
Exactly. Yeah. So don't get rid of them all. And so I'm fine. Like the Chris Sale trade, I'm not against. I'm saying the reason why I'm not as high on the Chris Sale trade is because we completely unloaded our prospects, and we also unloaded our prospects for guys who aren't that good. Like we unloaded one of our top 20 prospect for Pomeranz. We unloaded one of our top 10 prospects for Tyler Thornburg, who's not going to pitch. So, and I would have much rather kept Brad Ziegler, who Farrell hated, everyone hated, but he has a career ERA of 2.44, and he's never had an ERA above 3.6 in any year of his career.
Didn't we hang on to Fernando Abad after?
Oh my God!
He's awful.
Abad.
We went to arbitration for him.
We keep Abad, but we don't sign Brad Ziegler.
I hear that
I
name.
liked Ziegler better than Abad.
I hear that name, and I just think of the time I went to the game with you, and you they put in Abad, and you were just going nuts, and then you're screaming, put in Ziegler. The guy he loads the bases up, and the next thing you know, it's like pitching change. You see Junichi Tazawa's name on the board, and you're like, oh great.
And then Tazawa gives up a hit.
Yeah. Oh, classic Farrell. Anyways, so yeah, I'm very happy baseball's back, but the Red Sox, there's a lot of stuff they need to do.
A lot of question marks.
But other sports are approaching the postseason, and the Bruins clinched their first playoff berth in how many years, Pat?
3?
2.
Oh,
2 years.
Feels like forever.
But
in
it feels
Boston.
like a long time.
Yeah. So Ottawa just won against the Rangers, so that means the Bruins' hopes of having a home ice in the first round is gone. So
Damn.
I don't think it'll make a difference against Ottawa. At least it's still gonna be 4+ games of watching paint dry because Ottawa is the most boring team to watch in the league. With that, their whole neutral zone forecheck is 1-3-1. You can't
Pat, I have a
no
question
good
for you.
entries. Yeah.
I'm not a hockey guy. I just have a question for my friend Pat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the Bruins would be in such a great situation? When I say great, I mean in the playoffs at all, if Claude Julien was still here?
I don't know.
I
think
no.
they'd be in the running. I don't think they would have. I think it would have come down to the wire. I don't know if they would be locking one up a week before the playoffs. I think it would have been down to the wire.
Because Bruce Cassidy firing Claude Julien was the right move.
In hindsight, yeah, but at the time, I didn't think so.
I told you from the beginning though, and I don't even know hockey, and I told you from the beginning.
I mean, I'm just gonna historically like Claude better than
Not to
Cassidy,
brag.
but
Not to
I
brag.
think eventually the change would have been needed. I think obviously this summer if they didn't make it, I would have been go ahead and fire him.
Yeah.
But I mean, because you just need a new voice at some point. He got the defense playing to its capability or above its capabilities actually.
I've never watched a Bruins game on TV. Like I remember when I was like 6, I went to a game because like my aunt had like tickets or whatever, and I went, because I wanted to go to them. But I've never really watched a full game.
Mm-hmm.
If the Bruins do play Montreal in the playoffs against Claude Julien, I will officially watch my first Bruins game.
Honestly,
Heard it here, folks.
I want Montreal in the playoffs. I
I
think
do
we
too.
can beat them any day of the week.
Wow. Yeah, because they have Claude Julien, who's like the worst coach.
No, they can't score a goal.
Because they have the worst coach who like won't
No,
let them
that was
play.
their problem before they hired Julian
And they had
too.
Terrian, who's pretty much the same
How's
coach.
Price?
Price is he went real cold between January and February, but he's back to being the best goalie in the world.
Okay.
And
Better than Hopi?
yeah,
Wow.
Holtby's not playing today. Bruins just kicked off against the Capitals.
Better than Tuca?
Did you hear about?
I don't think this year.
Cool news was, an alum from our school just played his first NHL
Mike
game.
Mike
Vecchione.
Vecchione.
Vec,
Yeah.
a Union hockey star,
Still looking for his first point.
just stepped on the ice with the Flyers, right?
Yeah, he played his third game today, I think.
That's pretty sweet. So, best of luck to you, Vec. We know you're listening.
Absolutely. Who wouldn't listen to this?
So, what changes do you think the Bruins need to? What adjustments do you think the Bruins need to focus on in these next couple of games to get ready for Ottawa?
Well, they're closing out the regular season today, right now against Washington.
Okay.
Washington is not starting Holtby, who just owns the Bruins, and I don't think Ovechkin and the regulars aren't playing. But for Ottawa, they gotta work on getting through the neutral zone, getting clean zone entries and out of their zone too. Like Torrey Krug went down, reports saying he's not going to be available at all for the playoffs. So that's a big problem in terms of your offense and moving the puck up the ice. But Ottawa bottles you up in the neutral zone, and the Bruins didn't do a good job of getting through their forecheck and their pressure in the neutral zone. It was just a lot of back and forth, choppy hockey. Like it wasn't like end to end where there's chances trading. It was just like kind of like dump it in and like
Just
you
kind of
try to
there,
forecheck.
fumbles and
Yeah, Ottawa's one of the
turnovers and-
slowest paced teams. They won't really wow you with their play aside from like Erik Karlsson, who's I think the best defenseman in the league. I've been all over him, but he's much improved defensively this year. But yeah,
I have a question for you,
Mhm.
Pat. So who are the Bruins? So what teams are can the Bruins play in the first round? Who are what are the possible matchups?
If we win today, it's definitely Ottawa versus us. But if we lose today and Toronto wins out, we'll be playing Washington.
So if we play Washington, we have no shot of winning, pretty much. And you can't say
If
that
we got Washington in the second round, I'd say there's a good chance because Washington always loses it in the second or third round. But first round, it's always the President's Trophy team's always dominant in the first round.
we get our butts whooped. And Carey
I think
Price,
we'd push
not
to
Carey
I think we'd
Price,
push to
Holtby
5.
owns us.
Yeah, he just owns.
And
the
don't they have
house.
Shattenkirk now?
Yep, they haven't really like gone that much over the edge as they thought they would with Shattenkirk.
Yeah, but we have no chance in the first
Yeah,
round.
not at all.
So
But Ottawa, you're just going to need to find a way to score a goal because against Ottawa is like a lot of the games I've noticed we've outplayed them. We just haven't scored. So it's just about solving Craig Anderson, solving that defense, and trying to get like into the zone clean and actually setting up some sort of offensive pressure consistently.
And what are your thoughts on Brad Marchand and what he did?
I can't defend him on that one. That was the most idiotic play he's done all season. He escaped the suspension for Cronwall, his little slew foot there. They called it a, quote, dangerous trip because they technically wasn't a slew foot. But, yeah, there's no reason for that should be happening because you're the most important player. And, if you're going to vote for the Hart Trophy, which is the MVP on terms of, like, value to your team, if they didn't do just the best player, Brad Marchand would have been the Hart Trophy winner because he was the only reason, part of it, why the Bruins are in the spot they are now.
And but he had 39 goals to finish the season. Pasternak's at what, 32, 33?
34.
34, wow.
Yep.
So Pasternak is 30-goal season. Bergeron's in the 20s, right?
Bergeron, I think, is 22. Krejci, I think, is 23, which is tied for a career high with him. Krejci's up to 57, 55 points.
More your playmaker, isn't he?
Yeah, he had a down year the last 2 years, but that's mostly because he was fighting through a lot of hip injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's getting old. He's been on the team a long time.
Yeah, he's 30. Bergeron's 31. So yeah, and he never really had a consistent line mate. But this year, like David Pastrnak, actually his idol growing up was David Krejci. So I think that's really cool that they've been paired together a lot. But yeah, so he now has consistent line mates, which was a big problem for him. It was a constantly turnstile in that second line.
And just looking at next year, so do you think McAvoy will be having a big role next year with the team?
Oh, of course.
And
I think.
How good do you think he can be? Like, do you have a comp, like a current NHL player who you can compare him to if you had to?
Well, for the Bruins, I'd say Brandon Carlo, except better. But because Carlo stepped in and had a big impact early on, but he kind of dropped off because just rookie defenseman, that learning curve. So I think he'll probably play alongside Chara like Carlo. Carlo will get bumped down to one of the bottom pairings. But a lot of scouts can compare him to Drew Doughty over in LA.
Kings?
Yeah.
Wow, isn't he I'm not a hockey guy, but
He's top 3 defenseman.
He was my favorite player when I was a kid.
So you really think that McAvoy could be that good?
That's what a lot of the scouts say. He's going to be the future franchise defenseman.
Did you read Pat's article?
Yeah, all these articles I'm putting up. I'm cranking them out.
He's cranking them out.
Have you? So would you say he's the Bruins version of Andrew Benintendi?
Yeah, I really would.
All right, it's a nice little connection, nice little parallel.
So comparing what Pat knows to what I know.
Get a way for Joe to understand here.
All right,
now you could fill me on the Celtics.
Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of Celtics lately.
Yucky.
Yeah, it's been a bad stretch.
They're frauds. Celtics, you're frauds. Celtics fans, you're frauds.
Green teamers.
Blinded by the green.
Blinded by the green. Adam Lou, Will Riley.
Stay up the podcast that they did. If that's ever coming back.
Maybe a bit of a summer thing.
God only knows.
But here's the thing. If the Celtics were to, and now it's not going to happen, but if let's say they had beaten the Cavs, which obviously they got smoked, they'd be the worst number 1 seed in NBA history. I firmly believe that. And here's the thing. LeBron James proved, Wednesday when we played them?
Yeah.
That if he tries, he is pretty much it's just a cakewalk to the finals. I firmly believe that if you take any elite college team, let's say any team in the Elite 8.
UNC. Let's take it. National champions.
You take UNC and you add LeBron James, he could get to the finals in the Eastern Conference right now.
I don't really know about that.
That's bold.
It's not bold at all. Because the Eastern Conference
Didn't South
trash.
Carolina make it to the Elite 8? I
Yeah,
don't know
they
about
did.
Elite 8.
Weren't they the Final Four?
They were the Final
They
Four.
lost to Gonzaga.
Yeah. Okay, I'm saying you take any top college
Maybe you take the national champion. There's a chance, but
you put him on UCLA with Lonzo Ball. I think you could take them to the finals in the Eastern
All right,
Conference.
LeVar Ball, your son is not better than Steph Curry. Just thought I'd say that.
Yeah, LeVar. Come on.
Get it. I really like the Celtics will probably end up getting him with the first overall Brooklyn pick.
No, we're gonna get what's his face?
Fultz.
I think LeVar
Yeah,
Ball.
I like that.
I think LeVar Ball is better than Steph Curry, though.
I think he's better than Michael Jordan.
Probably.
He said it himself.
No, not his son, but
No, he
Yeah.
said himself he's better than
He
Michael
said
Jordan.
he could take Jordan one-on-one. He said he
Indeed.
could.
how far did LeVar play?
Chuck Barkley.
He played like Washington State
college.
for like 1 year.
He averaged
Yeah.
2 points a game.
He was probably better than Jordan, yeah.
So, but here's the thing. The Celtics, I like the fact that they have the Nets pick. The Nets, my bold prediction, the Brooklyn Nets will make the playoffs next year.
No.
Yes.
It's too. It's just too. That's just a shot in the dark, Joe.
No, because if you look at their record since the All-Star break, they've been playing close to 500. And here's the way I look at it. They do have 2 first-round picks.
You're crazy.
No, I'm not. Listen to me.
Speaking of picks, the Pierce trade for all those picks, that was the worst trade in NBA history on the Nets.
And
end.
also the best trade in NBA history.
Yeah, for us it's the best. For the Nets it's the worst.
I can't even call that a trade. That's just a robbery.
That's true.
Bruins are losing.
Well, here's the thing. With the Nets do have 2 late first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they could package that, move up into so let's say they get the
7.
Let's say they get the 23rd and the 27th pick. Let's just say. Let's say they can trade up and get the 15th pick or the 16th pick, and they can get a Harry Giles, someone who was a top recruit coming out, but injury riddled. But this kid could really, if he stays healthy and lives up to his potential, he has the talent of a top 5 pick. Coming into last year, like this time last year, when they were looking at the next year's draft, they're saying Harry Giles is definitely going to be a top 5 guy. But he tore his ACL and last year of high school and never lived up to expectations, whatever. But he still has a lot of potential. You bring that kid in. Not to mention, the Nets are a team with a lot of money, and they're not going to attract a top-flight free agent. But what they could do is get a lot of mid-tier guys,
Role players,
overpay them. But here's the thing. They have no reason to tank, so they can, because they need to spend money. They have the money, so they can just overpay guys to just say, all right, get us 35, 40 wins and get the 8th seed because we have no reason to tank. So now you look, and let's say they bring in, I don't know, looking at free agents.
maybe they can be part 2 of the Derrick Rose reclamation project. He's a free agent this year.
Yeah,
So, do teams actually go into a season before the tip-off of the first game and go, all right, we're gonna tank the season?
absolutely.
Yeah.
How,
I
how do
think
you
if you-
intricately plan that out? It's okay, so we're gonna win tonight against this team.
No, you just try to make the work. The players don't try to tank, but the coaches
Front
might try to tank.
office,
The GM
sell
says
at the deadline.
exactly. But I'm saying look at these free agents. Serge Ibaka, perfect example. He's not a max player. The Nets could say, okay, Serge Ibaka, you're still a guy who can get 15 points a game and 8 rebounds. We'll give you the max money that you don't deserve. Come in Brooklyn, win us. Let's say Serge Ibaka, having him over Trevor Booker, gets you another 3-4 wins. So, give him a max because they have so much money. Andre Iguodala, Tyreek Evans, Drew Holiday, Zach Randolph, just solid.
Holiday will probably end up back with New Orleans, though.
Yeah, but I'm just not saying they're going to sign all these guys, but just a bunch of Jeff Teague, just a bunch of solid players.
Jeff Teague is not that. He's good.
But he's not a max player. But if he's not a max, he's not worth $30 million a year, $25-30 million a year.
Depends where you're from. It depends what team you are.
He's with the Hawks, right?
Indiana now.
If you're in Atlanta,
Yeah.
If you're in Indiana.
He's Pacers, right?
Yeah.
I saw him play.
Hawks fans probably think he's max,
that was
too.
why his name perked me up. He's pretty good. I mean, he's not Paul George, but he's pretty.
Yeah, but I'm saying
he's pretty damn close.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that one game. He was an All-Star last year, but I'm saying, or
He wasn't an All-Star.
he was last year,
Yeah.
not this year. But I'm just giving you guys
He's a sleeper, I guess.
I'm just saying good players who the Nets could overpay, bring them in because they have no reason to tank, and win 35, 40 games, losing the first round to the Cavs, but still
But what does that do for you?
for the Nets.
Yeah, losing in the first round.
Kind of just hurts your draft position.
But they don't have their pick.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So they
so
have-
they're just gonna do it. Just
They're gonna do it to just say screw.
Nothing
It's
to
like
lose. Give our
pat-
fans some
let's just pass the time, basically.
give our fans 4
Exactly,
extra
we have no
games.
reason to tank.
Wow.
Screw you, Celtics. So then the Celtics are like, we have the 15th, 16th pick, and last year we couldn't get anything for the 3rd pick. So now,
I wouldn't call Jaylen Brown not anything.
no, I'm saying in terms of a trade. Like,
Oh, yeah, but
we couldn't get Jimmy
I'm
Butler. we
actually
couldn't
happy
get
about
Paul
Jaylen
George.
Brown, though.
We couldn't even get Chris Middleton.
I still
from the
think,
Bucks.
like,
I'm pleasantly surprised by Jaylen Brown.
I love Jaylen Brown.
But here's what I'm saying.
Rookie
if-
of the year sleeper.
He's not going to win, though.
Joel Embiid won't.
Yeah, but Dario Saric.
Yeah.
And Malcolm Brogdon are better. But basically, not to just
That's why I said sleeper.
to bring it back to the focal point, it's just that the Nets will overpay, get a bunch of decent players, and not have no reason to tank, and just try to get the
Just out
8th
of
seed,
spite.
just exactly out of spite, and wanting to put a decent product on the floor, and
That's
and then the Celtics get the 15th, 16th pick, and in terms of trade value, you're not going to get Paul George with the 15th pick. You need to give up more than the number 1 overall pick to get Paul George. So that's why I think you need to trade the 2018 pick right now in the offseason, because I think it has more value, because I think the Nets are actually going to be decent.
So going back to the Celtics trade deadline, I think even if we add Jimmy Butler or Paul George and we still end up with the first overall pick, not first overall pick, first seed, I think we'd still get bullied by anybody in the West.
I disagree because here's the way I look at
Golden
it.
State or San Antonio, I think, would bully us.
No, but here's the way I look at it in terms of the Celtics. Let's say we got Paul George, and I think that would have been contingent on acquiring a guy like a Nerlens Noel to protect the paint. So now, or Andrew
Everett kid. Come
What?
play for his home team.
Exactly. So you get a rim protector, and then you also get a star wing player.
Mm-hmm.
So now you fill two holes, and I think that could get you past Cleveland. And then you get in the West, especially against the Warriors. The Celtics have the formula to beat the Warriors.
Yeah, they have their number.
Because look at the Celtics defense. And I know it hasn't been great lately because they get bullied in the paint.
Yeah.
The Warriors don't have anyone who can bully you
Johnson
in the paint.
is your quote-unquote big.
Exactly. But the Warriors don't have anyone who can bully you in the paint. They beat you from the outside. But our defensive strength is our outside D. Avery Bradley, Marcus Smart, Jay Crowder. Those are guys who defend on the outside. So now when you have Marcus Smart, no one's going to lock down Curry, Clay, and KD. But I'm saying you have Crowder neutralizing to the best ability KD. You have Marcus Smart neutralizing Steph and Avery Bradley neutralizing Clay.
And then Isaiah doing what Isaiah's doing.
And then Isaiah and they don't really have anyone because Kyrie's not an elite defender.
Nope.
So Isaiah's going to get his. You bring in a Paul George and KD. I mean KD's obviously better, but it's not like it's a huge difference. And Paul George is a very good two-way player. Same with Jimmy Butler. So then you look at that, and you also bring in a guy like a Nerlens Noel and Al Horford down low. Who's going to stop them? Because Draymond Green's only 6'7", so I still think Horford could have his way. And Zaza Pachulia is bad. So I think we had the recipe to beat the Warriors if we got another star. That's why looking into the offseason. Sorry. If we got Paul George and Gordon Hayward, I think that...
Both. That's a hot take.
Well, it's possible because we have the cap room.
It certainly is possible, but I don't think we will.
I think we could because Paul George said he wanted to play with.
I think Paul George should go to the.
Paul
Warriors.
George wanted to go to the Lakers.
I think he should go to the
He
Warriors.
was pissed after he didn't get traded to the Lakers.
He should go to the Warriors.
No, it wasn't the Lakers. Was it the Lakers?
He was just pissed that his name was being
I just think it's funny and like
mentioned.
I think didn't he want to go somewhere really bad too?
No, he said that after 2018 he's going to look at the Lakers.
Oh yeah.
But here's the thing: he said he wanted to play with Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward obviously has connections with Brad
so
Stevens.
if one of them gets.
Okay. I think if we bring in Gordon Hayward, we kind of like. It really makes Celtics better, but I don't like how ESPN will take it as, City of Boston's racist because we wanted Gordon Hayward.
No, we want the best player we can get.
Yeah,
and if
I don't like that they're labeling this thing as a race thing. Not at all.
No,
Gordon Hayward improves our roster. That's why we want him.
Is that like something you just kind of like predicting, or is that real?
No, ESPN was all over.
Amin Al-Hassan was saying how like Boston's a racist city.
Israel Gutierrez, they were all over Boston about like how we wanted
white
how
players.
we were.
Kevin Love, we wanted.
How we want Gordon Hayward. Well, because Gordon Hayward's
That's
better
a
than a lot of the
joke.
players on our roster.
Don't forget, then there was a guy from SNL who said Boston's a racist city in America.
Yeah, they
I'm like, yeah, go down to Mobile, Alabama.
They have
that's racist city.
They have stories of like this guy at Fenway calling David Price the N-word in his warm-up. I doubt that happened. That would have been all over Twitter.
Yeah, you think that some guy wouldn't have put on?
He would have been tossed out of the park.
Yeah. I think David Price is just like a mental midget looking for excuses.
I still like him as a 3-starter though, for the Red Sox at least. He's a very, very good 3-starter if he ends up being that. If he
I don't
comes
think
back.
he's gonna make.
If he comes back.
He's not good for you. He's not making any starts. But
I like Danny Salazar as a 3-starter.
Yeah,
that's a good 3-starter right there.
Well, looking at the Celtics, I think that they have a long way to go. But
Joe, would you say the NBA is the most predictable sport?
Yep.
Without a doubt.
It's all set in stone.
Yeah.
You know what's gonna happen. I mean, Celtics might make some noise, but other than that, you know what's gonna happen.
Celtics aren't gonna make any noise. Celtics are gonna get swept by Cleveland. The Celtics won't make it out of the second round.
When will we face Cleveland? When would be the
you.
latest round we could face Cleveland?
If we get the second round, the latest we wouldn't get them until the Eastern Conference Finals.
I think we can get to that.
No, I don't think so.
Who do we have to go through? We'd have to play
Toronto.
Who's the 7th seed right now?
7th seed might be the Pacers, or the Pacers might be out of it.
Or is it the Heat?
Yeah,
It's like it's down to the Heat and the Bucks. I think those are the two
Bucks,
teams.
Pacers. I think there's still some wiggle room there. I don't think we should have a problem there. I think the problem would be in the second round against the Raptors. I think we've always struggled against the Raptors. Kyle Lowry's back playing real well.
Oh, he is back?
Kyle Lowry's back. You think he scored like 25 points the other night, and then 27. So he's been really good. DeMar DeRozan has our number. And they also have Valanciunas. They picked up P.J. Tucker at the deadline, who I was hating on, but He's been solid. They have they got Serge Ibaka too.
Mhm.
So they're definitely a team that I would worry about. I think they could beat us. So
Okay.
and
I-
Patriots.
You want to do a couple minutes on the pass?
Just looking at the
Yeah,
team.
there's
Richard
not a lot.
Sherman.
There's not a lot of news
do you
really,
think
other
of-
than
yeah.
Richard Sherman. Really.
They
So,
offered.
yeah,
they
let's hear it.
reports saying they offered Blunt a deal too.
Oh no! I don't want him. I don't want him. Don't say that name. Blunt, you suck.
He's
I
better
don't-
than AP.
No, he's not. Blunt is. Oh,
Eight. All right.
all right,
Like last
Pat,
year, I
Pat,
would have
Pat.
said he's not better than AP,
Pat,
but AP
Pat,
is also very
Pat,
old.
Pat.
Don't get me started on Garrett Blunt.
He's
All right.
he
I- sucks.
I have
he's
to
old.
rescind some of the beliefs I had for LeGarrette Blount. I thought he was so much better than he was. Like, in his case, like, you have to just watch the guy on the field
Yeah.
and realize that he's not a good running back.
It's
He's-
his numbers because they.
Yeah.
He had huge numbers this year. 2015, he was awful. I was all over him about that.
Well,
but
here's the thing. If you watch the games,
Like, if
18 touchdowns, he's just 260 pounds.
If you
on the
look-
1
That's also
yard
true.
line.
if you look at like his numbers,
He looks like he's like Walter
But-
Payton.
but if you look at him play, he doesn't look any different every year. He looks the
No.
same every single year. Every like he'll have a couple games, will get a nice breakthrough run here and there.
Yeah,
Some,
and
some
go-
years they give him the ball a lot on the 2 yard line. Some years they don't. But he's the same player on the field.
Exactly.
He just has good numbers some years. And this year he had unreal numbers.
Yeah, because the Patriots got
It's n-
down to the 1 yard line a lot more, and they were able to. He was just able to power it in.
I thought he would not be a good running back on a lot of different teams.
That is so true.
Yeah.
And so here's what I'm saying: any running back will do. Listen, if you want to bring Blunt back for $1 million or less, fine.
cheap. Yeah.
But I think we'd be fine if we picked up Carlos Williams, or just any big back, drafting a guy in
Rex
like the fifth.
Burkholz.
I don't know anything. I don't know
Neither do I.
running
but
backs in the draft.
We got the great
but-
running back we signed from
Oh,
Cincinnati.
Rex Burkhead, yeah.
Burkhead. Burkhead or Burkholz?
Burkhead.
All right, I thought that was Burkholz.
But he's more of like a pass catching back. He's
Yeah.
smaller. But I'm saying
Danny Woodhead.
just draft another guy who's about 6 foot, 250, and
Hand him the ball on the 3 yard line and let him do it. Let him do
just
his
draft a
thing.
guy in the 5th, 6th round, pay him $500,000, and just say, all right, big boy, run over the line.
Show
And
us what you
that's-
can do.
And that's all you have to do. Because I think running the ball, I think Burkhead, White, and Lewis should be fine. So, and defensively, I would love to bring in Richard Sherman. And honestly, in terms of Malcolm Butler, I would say the Patriots have all the leverage. I wouldn't give him up for the 32nd pick. I'd say, you know what? Sean Payton already said that they're not going to sign Malcolm Butler to an offer sheet and give up the 11th pick. So I'd say, fine, sign the tender, play for $3.9 million, and then you can walk, and we'll get a 3rd round pick.
He's gonna have to. Nobody's gonna sign him to an offer sheet at this point.
If we have Butler and Richard Sherman on the same team,
Well, I don't think that would happen because we signed Stephon Gilmore.
okay.
So I think it would be,
trade.
yeah, I think it would be a trade. So I think sign Butler to the tender, trade him, and a pick for Richard Sherman.
I think that's the best case scenario because either you have to give a lot of money to Butler or we let him walk next year, right?
Yeah,
So why not let him walk from someone else
exactly.
and get something good for it? I think that's. And what kind of contract situation is Sherman in?
Sherman has 2 more years left at $11 million per, which is actually under the market, but it's still more than what Butler would make. But considering how much inflation, because he signed his deal a few years ago, so if Sherman was a free agent now, he'd be getting like 13, probably
Gilmore
more,
money.
14. He'd be getting like 14, 15 million. So I think that
Stephon Gilmore.
it's still decent money for Sherman. Personally, I would try to just keep Butler for 1 more year, but
Yeah.
if we got, let's say, we ended up trading. I wouldn't give up a pick for Sherman on top of Butler. I would rather let Sherman. I would rather have Butler walk for the 11th pick and then trade that for Sherman. But I don't know. I hate to say it. I just trust Belichick. You're Bill. Just do what you do. I doubted him
Finally
before.
joining the in Bill we trust.
I did because my first article with GTSN, going back to last summer,
Wow.
was
It's a
criticizing
big
Bill.
throwback.
But then I just wrote an article a few months ago saying how last month that I trust Bill.
For now.
For now.
Okay.
Because we won 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, and before that we didn't win any. As long as I was like cognizant, for 10 years we didn't win a Super Bowl. So we all of us, I would say, in that 16, 17, 18-year-old age group, our first memory, I would say 2007, going 16-0,
Yeah.
and then losing.
That's
So
what
for that period of time, what did we do? We made it to the AFC Championship game, the Super Bowl, and we lost. And that made me upset because we never really got to experience the wins. And I say this all the time, But now I've got to experience 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. I'm back to trusting Bill.
Oh yeah.
So
I think that's a good way to end it. So
Yeah.
yeah. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we will see you next time.